You can only say that because you're married and used to eating Dad's meat. I realized how that sounded the moment the words left my mouth, but there was no taking them back. All I could do was wait out my best friend and Mom until they were done giggling, which took longer than I would have liked. Not that I was surprised, considering what I'd just said. You knew what I meant, Mom. Sure, she conceded with a smile. But that doesn't make it any less funny. Charmaine poked me in the side. She's got you there. There was no denying that my best friend was right, but I didn't want to lose track of the point I'd been trying to make before our conversation went off track. Now that everyone has had a good laugh at my expense, I'd like to request a moratorium on questions about when I'll find a boyfriend. I have enough on my plate with trying to find my first real job. I don't need the added stress of everyone pressuring me to go out on dates. Don't worry about all of this now, dear. Enjoy your first night back. Get silly with your bestie. She brushed a kiss against my cheek and beamed a smile at Charmaine. There's plenty of time to find the man whose meat you'll happily eat. I should have been used to the inappropriate stuff that came out of my mom's mouth since I'd been listening to it for years, but she still made me blush. Good one, Mrs. S. You're seriously the best. Thanks, sweetie. You're awesome, too. My mom stroked her hand through the back of Charmaine's hair before heading back toward the house. When the sliding patio door shut behind her, Charmaine turned to me. You do realize that you'll either need to get a boyfriend or an apartment if you want to stop conversations like that from happening every day, right? I'd hoped the whole ordeal was a one-off since my aunt and grandma were over for dinner. My shoulders slumped as I realized she was right. Do you think my job search will distract them at all? For a little while, maybe. But there's really only one solution if you want to keep them quiet longer. Not trusting the gleam in her eyes, I braced myself as I asked, What's that? Let me set you up on a blind date. Setting her glass on the ground, she bounced on her chair and clapped her hands. This guy comes in every 4 weeks like clockwork to get his hair cut. His next appointment is tomorrow. He's single, cute, and I've overheard him talking about investments on the phone several times while waiting for his appointment. So, I'm pretty sure he does something in finance. I bet the two of you would get along great. I rolled my eyes with a huff. That's a giant leap in logic. I was in class with a ton of guys who were single, cute, and studying the same thing as me, but I never wanted to date any of them. I'm not saying you have to marry the guy, Dakota. Just go out on one blind date, and then you can use him as a shield whenever someone in your family brings up your lack of a boyfriend. I pursed my lips as I considered her suggestion. Going on a blind date sounded awful. But could it be any worse than all the pressure I was bound to get if I didn't have a quick reply the next time someone in my family asked if I would ever get a boyfriend? If I do this, I held up my hand in a gesture to stop when she practically jumped off her seat to tackle-hug me. And that's a big if. The guy has to be tall. She gave me a squeeze before doing a celebratory dance. Of course he's tall. Like I'd suggest a short guy you'd tower over when I know how self-conscious you are about your height. My parents and I lived on the first floor of the brownstone they owned. Charmaine and I had met when her family moved into one of the fourth-floor apartments. We became best friends on the first day of school while we waited for the bus with our moms. She had been right by my side for the awkward middle school years when I shot up past all the boys and started getting picked on, so she definitely understood why I was sensitive about my height, especially when it came to guys. When I say tall, what I mean is that he needs to be taller than me by enough that I can wear heels and still be shorter than him. Charmaine squinted at me. Are we walking in 6-inch stilettos or a more reasonable 3? When have you ever known me to wear 6-inch stilettos? I lifted my foot to show off my flip-flops. I'd probably break my neck if I tried, although at least then I would get out of the date. Oh, and I could use the pity card with my family so they'd finally shut up about me not having a boyfriend. So maybe I'll buy a pair just for this blind date. She beamed a huge